What's up, guys? How we doing? Right. So we've got the patch quality of life update just come out now. So it came out yesterday. So there's a lot of different balancing that they've done. The one thing that I've noticed the most is the assault, like how much they've wanted to improve the assault class. Which I'm not gonna lie, because I rarely use the assault, and I just think it's really weak overall in most modes. You could, like, I'm sure there are classes out there, but overall, it's generally the weakest. Again, all in my opinion. So we've got the assault gameplay. So there's a lot to cover right now. So I'm just gonna go over it as quick as humanly possible. So we've got the assault ground pound damage class updates, the assault and heavy PvP. Heavy is going to be good because I actually play with someone who plays heavy a lot. So PvP improvements, extended list of available weapons, and PvP progress rewards. So this is good. They're kind of focusing on it, not too much. I know that they're going to do a little bit more later on down the line. But there's a lot of different things that they are doing, so it's pretty good. I'm also I had a little bit of a look yesterday in Siege mode. I like the shop rebalancing, it's not too bad. Guardsman HP and damage increased, Dreadnought time increased, and also Dreadnought to get hold of it, like using the points is being lowered. Autonomous enemies spawn rework, that's good. General fixes, and assault unlocks the Inferno pistol skin, so that's not too bad. So it is kind of things that we're covering right now. They have this patch is it's pretty big. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a massive overhaul of all of the weapons that they're gonna be going through anyway. So we got the new ordeals for the siege mode, which I like myself for the simple fact that now there's something to kind of grind towards, and especially if you've got ordeals you want to do, and unlocking those the hammer and the bolt rifle skins as well as other things on top. It's pretty much it. We adjusted the default UI internal logic to make it experiment in future, so adding new entries would not be affect already given rewards. This is good, and there's doing that. Gameplay balancing and tweaks. Chainsword, power sword, ground pound punch and damage increased to increase match power fist and thunder hammer. I do see a lot of assault classes using the power fist or thunder hammer. Like, obviously it's giving a lot of damage out. Obviously, I'm assuming that they want to be using a lot of classes to have a balance between each one, which is fair, but you're gonna have a point where it's like you need to have power, slow versus speed versus damage, and that's a tricky situation for, especially if you're a dev trying to work out what's best and what's not. So we've got PvE melee weapons here. Just gonna go over this. Reworked update. We reworked all the melee weapons. Stat distribution complex between different tiers wasn't finding the same results as firearms. So, with a relic, strictly between the artifact ones. Relic tier weapons are strictly better than the artifact ones. It's true. Massive overhaul with popular versions may become less effective than they used to be, vice versa. We're going to make another pass if it's necessary. We think that would be needed to clean up first here, move forward. So it looks like they're going to be like kind of tweaking a lot of the time, especially in the future, especially different updates, etc. that come along. That's what it says to me. PvE refreshing balanced. Right, so this is what I'm talking about a lot of the time. So we have the balanced weapons have moderate damage and moderate speed. That's fair enough. Fencing, fast, blah blah blah. Block weapons. Now I've seen a few things on block weapons. Now the block weapons, power fist, thunder hammer, have been reduced to like 1. Now, obviously, this is going to come into effect with parry, and also trying to get the perfect parry as well as blocking at a certain time, etc. Blah blah. And this is going to affect mainly the power fist and the thunder hammer. Right, it's going to be slow. That's obviously what they wanted to do, but the damage is going to be huge on the output, which I get. However, it's just difficult through them doing this on the enemies that we have, because chaos is extremely difficult, and so is like Tyranids on certain enemies or in certain situations, because you're not always going to have or be able to charge up the fist or the thunder to get the damage off in the first place. So I'm really skeptical how this is going to be working out, because I don't think this is not particularly good. but I understand the situation or how the devs are looking at it. I just don't necessarily agree with it. So I'm curious about this in the future. Fencing, I don't really have any problems with these two right now, but the blocking, you obviously don't want it overpowered, but you don't want it to be where you could just use it all the time and just tear through every single enemy wave, which I get. It's fair enough, and it's just I don't know if they want to make it more challenging or looking at different stats. Our stats show that all the fire balance, good right spotlight, blah blah blah. Weapon. More effective with the patch. We intend to focus on actual versions balance. But the version didn't stand out much for the counterparts. Therefore, we wanted to increase the stat differences to make sure that the choice is more meaningful. Interesting, to be honest. I just don't think they should have touched too much, but from what I've seen on the new update of this or the new patch 9.0, they've touched a lot. So mass-crafted bolt rifles, spread reduction increased from 15 to 30, recoil reduction increased from, so there's a lot of recoil now, headshot damage increased from 1.5 to 2, obviously you can stack that up. Spread reduction increased from, or I would have got both right. Spread reduction from 30%, so they've increased this rate spread reduction from 30 to 40%. Recoil reduction increased from 40 to 60. Headshot damage increased from 1.5 to 2. All right, okay. It again, like they're just increasing it a little bit, and I'm curious that the more they do this, will they regret the decision that they've done and go back on said decision that they've done now in the future? Because generally, in a lot of type of this isn't the first time. It's not the first game that this has happened to. A lot of different games it's happened to across the board. That off the top of my head, it's always been the same. They increase something, then they lower something, then they increase something. I'm not too sure how the forums are looking too much. I'm assuming a lot of people in the same spot that the block fist is great, blah blah blah. These weapons are good, but this needs doing, blah blah blah. And then they've kind of just gone, well, let's just overhaul everything. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because it's better to not make a mountain out of molehill. And it's like do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. I'm sure there's reasonable explanation for the devs to be doing this, but so far I'm not. I'm skeptical, very, very skeptical about this. So I'm just curious about how it's going to be playing out, because obviously I really love this game. I just don't want it to be too much where they are just messing around with it for the sake. I mean, I saw one comment that I thought was actually pretty accurate. Is that they feel, or one of the players, they feel that this game is Space Marines, like a Space Marines free beta, basically. That it does touch on different things, just to see how it goes. So it's going to carry on here. Stalker bolt rifle versions, headshot damage 2.5. Damage increased. So there's just so many buffs that they've done. Increased rate of fire increased from 180 to 220. Like that is just like there are so many buffs that they have done. It's quite incredible, and I'm just thinking, why have you done this on so many different weapons? I mean, we're not even halfway down right now, so I'm just going to keep going. Spread reduction 15, 20, headshot 1.5 to 2. Again, all this I will have the link in the description below. Make sure you can check it out and tell me what you think. Tell me what are you happy with these changes? Are they necessary? Were they worth it? Obviously, give it a week or two and play along. Clip size increase from 20 to 35, and a lot of just different clip size here. So marksman bolt carbine 2035 140 to 350 is crazy. It's such like this is just a buff, like patch 9.0 buff at the moment. Again, headshot damage, base damage, melter versions. Again, we got damage of efficacy over distance increase from 1 to 3. Melta rifle 2 to 4. 3 to 5. Again, rate of fire increased from 50 to 60. Base reduced by 12.5. So again, just a lot of buffs. So many buffs I'm seeing right now. Increased, damage decreased, etc. Headshot damage, rate of fire increased 60. And I mean, this is coming to effect now. So, there is just a lot of things that's going to be happening in the future. And I'm sure we're probably going to find some things that are not right or haven't sat well with certain different builds, especially if you have a build that's custom to your gameplay and your style, whether you be a casual that you just want to be rolling around, or if you're in a hardcore dedicated fan and you want to try and get through as many waves as humanly possible. We're going to find out within week or two, give or take, especially with how this game's going to evolve and how players are going to evolve as well. Yeah, so we're going to carry on here. Again, 180 to 250 or 252. Clip increase in size, 32, 42. That's like 102. So it's like there's a lot of buffs, which I'm not against. I am not against, but I feel like the devs are sitting on a very fine line between letting the casuals have a good time and letting the hardcore dedicated fans that want to try and do as much as humanly possible on all the waves that they're going through. Not a massive increase here. Heat speed, Bennett speeds, again, all these different heavy bolt rifles, just a lot of different buffs on a lot of different guns. Heavy metal version, metal blah blah, relic. Again, just rate of fire increase from 94 to 110 shots per minute for mini zone shot, blind shot, plasma zone. This is pretty much again exactly the same thing. Increased from 15 to 30 or 0.3. Change speed reduction. There is just a lot of buffs, just so many buffs, and I'm gonna wonder that if the devs are regretting making some of these decisions, because that's usually what kind of happens along with games. They kind of do a lot of different things, see how it goes. I mean, I feel like they are testing the waters with certain things. What I'm getting back from mainly on this is that they wanted to increase a lot of these weapons, so they had to increase a lot of these weapons through making the assault class a better class. Reserve ammo increased right now. Reserve ammo increased. And then we got class perk updates. So this is where they wanted. Obviously, they said the area of effectiveness is not working on this perk, and it will be fixed next patch. Probably a month or two. That's the other thing as well, that this patch dropped, and it's incredible because I didn't actually think it was going to drop, and it just went, here you go, there you go, 9.0, boom. And it's like, okay, well, that's interesting. Perk has been reworked. Contested health fades 50% more slowly. So, there's a lot of things on the assault perk or the assault class that they wanted to do. The heavy as well. See, they got a couple of reworks on here. Reduced damage increased by 50% when using a thermal boost. Firearms PvE only. Increased the amount of grenades received from grenade launch for pickups. So again, 50 to 75 is going to be a pretty crazy increase. Infernal pistol, this doesn't really get used that much, so I'm not surprised that this is kind of how it is. Base damage increased by 50%, gun strike increased by 20, gun strike damage, knockback radius increased by 100%, which is going to be great for area of effectiveness. Especially if you've got other perks that you can penetrate certain enemies and go through others and getting the gun strike back on that. Okay, we want to make the Infernal Pistol as a dedicated crowd control weapon rather than a gun strike damage dealer, because Heavy Bolt Pistol already fills this. That being said, and this is currently 2 and we want to make sure that the Infernal Pistol performs well enough outside of it. So I can understand, like, they want it, the gun to be along and just, cut down minions a little bit, just all over the place. Gun strike damage, again, bolt pistol, gun strike damage increased by 25%. Contested health recovery has now been greatly increased and is now in line with other pistols, so that's not too bad. Combat, quality of life. Added anti-stun lock heavy hit features. Player receives multiple hits during a quick session. Duration of a heavy hit will be reduced to 80%. Next one will be reduced to 60, and I'm assuming it will just always be that, or it go down to 40, etc., etc. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is a pain. This is a pain. This is such a pain, especially for other people that they know that you just get hit and then you get hit and then you get hit. You can't get out of a certain situation, or you can't dodge or melee at the same time because you are spamming the button, but you're in a corner or whatever, and then you've all of a sudden been hit by 2 or 3. Say Terminators or something like that, or whatever, and then all of a sudden you've just lost all 3 of your armor as well as almost a third of your health, give or take. And then you're trying to get back and crawl your health back, and then if you've got stims in the pocket, that's fine, whatever, but it's still the same situation. Again, depends on where you are and how you are handling X amount of Terminuses around you. Assault class has received multiple buffs, obviously we can see that what we've just looked at. We heard your feedback regarding the assault class being too weak, and we agree, but to a point. The amount of effort it takes to play it right doesn't outweigh the benefits. So the amount of effort it takes to play it right. So obviously they're saying, you need to play, you need to play the game, play the class right. Doesn't outweigh the benefits. Okay, that's fine. I understand that to a degree. The assault class for me is one of my opinions. I said earlier in the video that it's just one of the weakest classes at the moment. It just doesn't have the standards to perform. Yes, you have the ability to fly, etc., etc. Maybe even add more perks or whatever to the class. But at the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and play the assault class to see how it is, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really touch the assault class that much. I don't find it that fun to play, and I was looking forward to the assault class when it comes out, because it's a jetpack. I love jetpacks, are awesome. Very strong experience, and again, this is what I mentioned earlier. The chaos against chaos, it struggles, so that's obviously a no-brainer. I'm hoping the buffs will make the assault better to play with, but the core problem will be just the next content patch. So we got the next patch. That would probably be end of August, maybe September. I'm hoping. Obviously from the game dev fix issues with power sword stance change during certain animations. I don't believe I've had this. I could be wrong. Behavior should be very close to pre-patch 8. However, can't match 1.1 because behavior was working as a bug, and we now fixed it because of the cool new literal function next patch. So it looks like they're just going to fix this issue hopefully in the next patch. Plasma will reset when the heavy enters a heavy stance. Okay, child progress. Lots of minor improvements to general responsive controls and combat. Fair enough. Now this is I like this. It's not. I always thought that the Dreadnought cost was too much, in my opinion. I always thought it was quite a lot. I understand the idea that you want it to be a lot. I just didn't like how much it did cost. And they have also increased it from 3 to 5 minutes, which is nice. Because I've had it a few times where people would just spawn the Dreadnought up in a wave, whatever, 15, 20, 30, etc. And they would spawn it in a wave, and then it would run out at the end of the wave when you've still got a few more to go. So if you're going to spawn a Dreadnought in, obviously you want it to do as much damage as quick as possible before it goes. Guardsman reduced as well, which is I quite like this. I don't feel like a lot of people use the Guardsman at all, if rarely. I think there's been 3 or 4 times that I've seen people actually use the Guardsman. But again, with the Ordeals, this is going to be probably in use a lot more. Increased HP and damage, which is going to be cool. Dreadnought and time increase from 3 to 5. Streamlined terminus enemies spawn logic after 16th wave. every third, 2 to 3, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So this is going to be a little bit better because I've had it before where it's been just very illogical. Causing wave 30 plus easier than 20 waves. Sometimes causing 30 plus waves easier than 20 plus waves. This change this shouldn't affect the game difficulty, but rather make it predictable. So that's not too bad. Fix multiple enemies, issues with enemy spawns. Enemies getting stuck at their spawn, that's good. Fixed issue with not being, this is good. Enemies getting stuck at their spawn is very good. Not being able to progress to the next sector. Yep, I've had that, I've had those two. Geometry and collision, okay. I might have had that, but I'm just not sure. Whereas the source class will now unlock the further. Alright, okay, cool. So that was obviously a bug behind that. And obviously we've got a little bit of PvP here. PvP extend list of available weapons, combat knife. It's gonna be cool. Plasma pistol, heavy bolt. I haven't touched too much PvP. I might do in the future, but at the moment I'm just not really too sure, or I don't care enough at the moment. Just because siege mode has come out, it's a lot more fun. PvPs sometimes can be very frustrating, depends on who you're playing against and what map, etc. Again, I would like more maps for PvP, but hopefully we'll see that in the future. Lots of carbine, blah blah blah, Vanguard, heavy bolt pistol, bolt carbine, sport, heavy bolt pistol, okay. XP recalculated, experience rewards being reduced, making progress faster and more rewarding, new levels added. The new max level is 44. Okay, lots of minor fish, obviously gameplay modifiers. Some AI obviously on the PvE. Lots of minor fixtures, blah blah. Dealing too much damage with its beam attack in some rare cases. Lictor can spawn invulnerable in some cases. Okay, customization. Reverted that. Made it impossible to put the decon. Okay. Alright, cool. Lots of other minor fixes. I don't like when, devs use lots of other minor fixes. I want to know what they are, regardless if they're boring or not. I just don't like when they go, yeah, we've done this. Well, I want to know what you've done. I want to understand, because maybe the problem that I have had isn't being mentioned here, but it might be mentioned here. It's just a bit frustrating, and I kind of wish that you would be. I kind of wish the devs would be a little bit more transparent with any kind of bugs or fixes that they do. General fixes, gunstrike prompt may not appear. Okay, that's true. That's happened to me. Battle focus perk is not triggered by perfect block. Okay. General fixes, blocking weapon, do not apply, increase damage. Blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Some private probably lock fixed. Minor UIs. Okay, and then we've got tech, crash fixes and general state information, matchmaking and network. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So unfortunately, this patch doesn't have a fix for the top one server crash that plagues our community in siege mode right now. This has been a very difficult problem to identify for us, and we've been working on a solution since patch 8.1, and we're going to try and continue to work and deploy as soon as possible. We know that this has been frustrating. Okay. I mean, it's fair enough that they know about it, which is good. It's just frustrating that they can't do anything about it, per se. So, it's good that they know about it. I'm sure there's the top right now. So that's good. So obviously they're going to be fixing that. Okay. I mean, that's basically it right now. There's a lot of different things that I am looking forward to. A lot of different things that I'm not looking forward to. I just kind of wish they be a little bit more transparent, and I understand I want to know why they did it and what their reasoning behind why they're doing it. That's not being egotistic or whatever, pointing a finger. I just want to understand the idea that they're looking towards, because obviously when a dev or, a game developer or anything, a director, when they release certain things, there's obviously a goal or a mindset behind why they're doing it in the first place, whether it be stats, how people have asked the game to be, how the game plays out, whatever. And I just like to know a little bit more, that's all. And again, that's just not me hating on the game because I love the game. The transparency would be a little bit better, especially if they could put out, a video or whatever explaining, or even an interview or something else in the future. That'd be fun for me, to be honest with you. So, all right, but it's been like we're coming into 25 minutes, been rambling on about this whole thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play it, see how we go, see what we think, and just a general idea of how everything's going to be working out. So I appreciate everything. I'm going to obviously have this link in the description below. Yeah, and then we're going to go ahead and see how we're doing with everything. So much love. Yeah, appreciate everyone. Stop by, give it a like, thumbs up, comment. Tell me what your thoughts are, because I want to know everybody's thoughts, and I'm not kidding. I want to understand what different people are thinking and why and how, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be there. But take it easy.